From Arizona to Washington and all the way to Georgia, welcome back to the Coast to Coast Catch Up. My name is Cannon Griner, along with my co host Abe Elmore. We are just two childhood friends who grew up together, chased sports dreams, and now have big boy jobs on the opposite side of the country. We created this podcast to catch up, unpack real life, and share the ride with you. From deep conversations to lessons we're still learning, laughs to life pivots. It's the kind of catch up everyone needs. Let's get into it. Abe,
Dude,
how are we
what's up,
doing,
man?
man?
Gannon, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing fantastic. Doing great.
That's awesome. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while. I feel like a lot of stuff's happened, which is awesome, right? And again, just so excited to catch up with you, man. So, how was your last week?
It was fantastic. 2 weeks actually. Abe took the last week off, but I guess we both did. But it was great, man. Went camping with Alyssa. Did a little camping over at Mount Rainier. Stayed in the back of the old truck. If you can't see me right now, I do my podcast from the truck because it's the only space I can really find quiet time. So um, yeah, we slept in the truck, couldn't find a camping spot, and so we threw a tarp up and slept in the bed, and it was oddly comfortable. Clear night, didn't rain on us, so it was great. But had a lot of fun doing that. How about yourself, man? Why did we miss last week's podcast? What were you up to?
Yeah, man. For work, we build up in North Carolina in Atlanta. So, my boss was basically like, "Hey, you want to go to North Carolina for a week and kind of not do your real job, but like go up there and help out?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I can do that for a week." It's a lot nicer up there. Temperature wise, it's a little bit cooler. Fall is happening right now, so it was cool to get up there and watch the leaves fall. Watch leaves turn color, and just get a different brand of house. The houses are slightly smaller, but again, they're more on the sides of cliffs, sides of hills. A little bit different than what we're doing in Atlanta. So cool to spend some time up there, and then that turned into an extended trip up there. In the weekend, we camped. First time me and I went camping. It's hard for us to go camping because we have access to a cabin up in that same area. But let alone we did camp in North Georgia, just a little bit away from North Carolina at uh, State Park Amicalola Falls, I believe is how you say it. Super pretty up in North Georgia, right around the start of the Appalachian Trail. Not quite as cool, but cooler than Atlanta itself right now. So had an absolute blast up there. It was the first time me and I camped together. Very different than the way I'm used to camping. Again, I've did most of my camping in the desert or up in Idaho, but to be at a campsite, it made me to feel a bit more comfortable. I think probably the first time I've been at a campsite in a long time. But like you, we slept in the car. We tried the old tent, but it rained the first night, and the blow up mattress that we had was a little too big for our tent, and it got pretty wet pretty quick in our tent. So we ended up sleeping in the car for like the next like 2 nights. That was awesome, pretty eventful. So yeah, good to be back in Atlanta, but man, I've been back in like a week. So good to be back. It's starting to cool down, but man, that Appalachia, I haven't spent much time up there yet. It's certainly not, growing up on the West, like very, very different, but cool to kind of see more stuff out there as well. So cooked on the skillet. We certainly had a couple meals that I was probably more accustomed to. A lot of brats, a couple hot dogs, breakfast burrito. We didn't get too fancy with the meals, but I think she enjoyed it. I just bought that cast iron, so we took that and it worked out super well. Cooked on the fire the entire time. Don't have a Coleman, don't have a grill, so used a fire and it's been a while since I've used a fire and a skillet to cook a lot of meals, so it was good. Honestly, it was not. It was like a practice. I know I can do it, and I did it pretty well. But it was definitely good. Of like, hey, like, you need to
Still
kind of.
got it.
Yeah, I still got it. One thing that I was certainly humbled on. It rained the first day we were there. Starting a fire was incredibly hard. I feel like I'm pretty good at starting a fire. But in Appalachia, when it rained like a couple of days before, it rained for a couple days, like leading up to it, and it rained there the day of the first day. Dude, I was frustrated to say the least. Probably the most frustrated I've ever been camping, just because I couldn't get the fire started, and we actually needed to make a stop and get lighter fluid. And I was angry. I was very disappointed in myself.
That hurts the soul as a male who likes to be
Yeah,
outside. That definitely hurts the ego a bit.
and of course I've got Mina being like, "What's going on?" It's like, please, please. She's like trying to like make me feel better, and I'm like, I honestly, we were driving. As we were driving to the store to get lighter fluid, she's like trying to make me feel better, and I was just like, let's just not focus on that. Let's talk about something else. But we got it started, and we kept it. And then each morning was like, significantly easier to start the fire with the hot coals. So that was fun. That was the first day. So we did a lot of reading, a lot of hiking, brought the dog, did the dog for walks. Dog did a really good job being at a campsite. My first time camping with a dog, and it was Charlie's first time like being hooked up kind of like at all times, and she did not like she had to get used to it. Luckily I just like tied my like hammock straps like together, so she had like a longer leash than normal, but she got used to it. She enjoyed it. She saw a bunch of birds and squirrels and loved it. But I will say, we'll get into this. So for like my week, right, that was something fun, was going camping. Something I learned, there's a lot of bear signs out there in North Georgia, and I was like, that's not true. Like, there's no bears out here. Like, bears are the thing of the West. Like, there's no, Georgia of all places, like the South. Like, I didn't believe in that. And lo and behold, the cooler we were using was a Yeti cooler, which I'm pretty sure they're bear proof. They advertised that. One night, I learned that these Yeti coolers are not bear proof. I woke up in the middle of the night in the Rivian. Thank God we're in the Rivian. And it was probably like midnight, and I heard Charlie just start growling, and I instantly was like, "Oh man, that's a mean growl. That's a growl I've never heard before." And I, from the laying position, kind of tilted my head up, and I could see the back of a bear through the window, and I like scooted my ass to the back of the car and looked out the window and saw that a bear was raiding our cooler. I was pretty pissed, pretty upset. But man, did I watch this bear tear apart this cooler to get the contents of the inside of it. And so yeah, that's what I learned. I never really had this issue growing up. When I would camp in Idaho, I was never in charge of the cooler. And then in Arizona, we don't have bears in the desert. So at least in the southern part, right? The northern part, there's bears. But yeah, I never really worried about the cooler security in Bulldog Canyon. So to watch, our food supply for the next day basically disappear right in front of me, there's really nothing I could do. It sucked. So that's something I learned. And then something I'm proud of. I'm sure you have so many comments about this, but let me just get this out. Something I'm proud of was my dog for freaking scaring this bear off. She let out, after her intense growl, let off a couple of mean barks I've never heard before from her, and it did scare the bear off. The bear did come back, and she did do it again. But freaking proud of my dog for scaring away this black bear from our cooler. So with that was kind of our weekend camping trip. I know it was a lot, but man, was it pretty eventful. So I'm sure you have questions.
Yeah. So first of all, how about a car horn? I feel like that would get them away.
So with
Did
the
you get any
Rivian,
pictures?
no. So with the Rivian, your phone's the car key. It's a fully electric car. They're really cool cars, but I didn't know. Again, it was 12 o'clock at night. My phone was completely dead. Mina's phone was the only one that was like had battery in it. So I didn't want to like find her phone. Yeah, my first thought was car alarm, and I couldn't figure out from inside the car how to turn the car alarm on. It's important to note that Mina was asleep this entire time that this happened. Again, from 12 to like 2 a.m., I called the bear crisis. Mina's snoring. And again, Charlie's doing everything that contains growling at a very like mean way, and letting out a few barks here and there. I didn't have again. My first thought was car alarm, and I couldn't figure it out. And then my next thought was, again, it's an electric car. Stuff happens just because it happens. I was so scared that one of these doors, like the back door, was going to open. First time sleeping in this car, I was so scared that the back door was going to open and that my dog would just shoot out of this thing and attack this bear, which I did not want to happen. I didn't know exactly what to do. The only thing I did know to do was to stay calm. I couldn't find the car alarm. Didn't know how to turn it on. I was scared that one of these doors was going to open and my dog would just charge this bear, which I did not want to happen. So I basically just sat there and watched this bear radar cooler and tried to calm my dog down as much as possible so that, she knows that, hey, you're safe, and want to scar my dog. But man, she did awesome. She did scare the bear away, which is pretty cool.
Good.
So yeah.
Nice. Well, eventful. I think now know how to keep your stuff in the car, and learn from that experience. Don't let it happen again, especially when you're out in the tent.
Yeah,
but
to see a bear raid a cooler and like your tent that you could have been in is like 5 feet away, with your dog going ape shit. I was like, man, thank God. One, thank God for this car, but two, dude, put the cooler away. Put it somewhere else. So yeah, that was a valuable lesson I learned.
Did you get a picture or a video or anything?
No, I did not. That didn't cross my mind. It was pretty dark. It was hard enough to see the black bear with my own eyes in the dead of night, and it's black, so it's hard to see it, but it was awesome, I will say. I did enjoy it.
Darn. Well, when I went to Rainier, we did that hike. We went early in the morning after waking up in the bed of the truck. We wanted to get out there for the sunrise, and so that was pretty special getting out there. The sunrise was magical. It was like red and orange, and Alyssa made a really cool vlog about that. So go check that out if you haven't seen it. But it's super pretty, super cool. We were going up, and then we just did a loop kind of up the side and back down, not to the top of Rainier, but just kind of on the edge of it. And on the way down, we saw 2 black bear and some mountain goats. So it was a bear weekend, I guess, huh? But
dude, yeah.
It was cool. It was really cool. I haven't seen a bear in well, I guess I saw one up in Alaska, but I haven't seen a black bear in a while. And I don't know the last time you saw a bear, but I think they're sweet animals, and they definitely will find food. They're out up there picking berries, and didn't worry about it, the crowded trail. So super cool. Really enjoyed that.
It was my first black bear I've seen in the wild. I've seen some browns up in Idaho, and Yellowstone. Probably the closest I've ever been to a wild bear. It was no more than like 5 feet away from me, and
Really?
yeah, and to kind of see it at work and do bear things was like, all right, like this is pretty cool. Dude, if you could have seen like my face like in the back of this car, like I was just like, dude, look how cool! Like, oh, is it gonna get that cooler? I was like, totally enamored by it. Well, but also concerned for my girlfriend and my dog. But no, it was cool, and I will say I did see the vlog that Alyssa posted. Couldn't believe how many people were on your hike that early in the morning. And that was probably like, I think Alyssa did see in the vlog that it was packed, but like before she said it, I was like, dude, how many people are on the hike at 4 in the morning?
That's why we slept in the truck, right? We couldn't even find a camping spot. We literally just they had a national park inn, and you could rent rooms there. And so we just found a parking spot in a dark corner and threw the tent, or the not the tent, but the tarp over the bed, and kind of made a little cocoon in the bed with our blow up mattress. So it worked out well. It was great, but yeah, super crowded, and we're lucky to beat the rush of the morning, with everyone coming up from that wasn't in the park as well. But yeah, that was super fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, good camping weekend between both of us. I think it's
Right.
the first time we've probably camped on the same weekend, but not together.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. But yeah, man, getting right into it. I think one thing that we've talked about for a while was traditions. What they look like now, the ones that we've actually shared together, the ones that we want in the future. And I think it's just kind of a good thing to document. I think traditions are so important in life. I know that some happen more regularly than others, and some happen more often than others. But I think that they are kind of a cornerstone in people's lives. So it's just super cool to talk about, and certainly pick your brand about. So with that, man, do you want to share a couple of traditions, and what they mean to you, and what they are that you've been
Yeah,
doing in the
absolutely.
past?
I'll start with the beginning of the year. So New Year's Eve, we'll consider that the beginning of the year. Um, my family would always do. My mom would put on a party, and you would come, and all my close friends would come, and we'd just hang out. Some adult would buy firecrackers, or fireworks, and we'd all just hang out and have a good time. That was we're in Arizona, so we're outside and stuff still. As I've grown older, I realize how rare that is for New Year's Eve. Being in Wisconsin and up here, it's like it would be hard to get outside, but always outside, always, having games outside. My mom would put on some fun little games, and we'd have some sort of competition, and we're writing goals, predictions, and highlights of the year, and we'll pull out the ones from the year before, and she has this little 10 up in a cupboard that we will pull out and read, and check off, oh, we did that, or like, oh, I wanted to do that and never got around to it, like maybe I'll write that next year. And I think that was just a really cool way to bring everybody together and kind of incorporate the goals and predictions and all that of the new year. I think it made it fun, and um, gave us something to kind of track what we wanted to do. And even though we're 10-year-old kids, we're still creating goals, and like you think of that as more of a adult thing to do, like, I don't know, I'm gonna make $1 million, or I don't know, whatever. But as kids, we're like, oh, I think the Colts are gonna win the Super Bowl, and I think that I don't know, we would do some dumb stuff. But um it was really fun. You're always there, Abe. What did you think about that party?
Yeah, man, it truly is. Being away, whether it was at school or living in Georgia now, like getting back home to do that New Year's party is certainly kind of a priority for me. The, when I think of New Year's, I just think of always going to your place and playing every game under the sun. Playing games that I've played before, or learning a new game, or hearing about a new game.
And some
You know,
years it's as simple as we put a cup on the table and somebody says go, and the first person to grab it wins. Like, it
yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. We're just playing the whole night. It's funny, but sorry, continue.
No, I think the culture of it is just like, all right, like how many competitive people can we fit in one house? And what kind of games can we come up with? Like it can obviously get out of hand, when adults start, having a few cocktails or whatever, but man, like, we're always super safe, but yeah, it's games, playing new games, watching the football games, right? Like, you always have, uh, some football game on, which as time's gone by, like it's fun to have those on. And um, life gets busy around the football season, but to sit down and be like, hey, like, this is gonna happen in this game or whatever, and then be around people that you haven't seen for a while, or you're kind of hoping to show up, especially as time's gone by. Hey, I really hope that then they show up, and to get people going in and out. There's always so many New Year's parties going on, so to get people coming in and out, and like, hey, like, this person's here, let's play this game, or oh, like, hey, we're about ready to start a new game, like, get in here now, and there's always a few. It seems that there's always a couple fresh new faces, which is fun as well. But yeah, I just, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow, but I do know on December 31st, like, I'm probably going to be at Kenneth's house, right?
Yeah.
And it's
No,
go ahead.
it's super cool what my mom's done, right? Like as kids, it was fun to just get your friends and like hang out in one spot. And as we're getting older and like some people are more frequents at the bar and stuff, and along that age, like it's still, I find that most of my friends, even though they could be going out to clubs or whatever, we still go back to my house and just hang out the whole night and play games, and maybe we'll have a few drinks here and there, but really it's just more the hang now than I feel like a lot of people our age are doing, like going out to clubs, dropping a bunch of money, and having to Uber and all that, and figure out transportation on New Year's Eve. Where with us, it's all just a neighborhood, and we have one location. You don't have to worry about how you're going to get home. We're going to have people for you, and we'll figure it out and stuff like that. So it's I think my mom was ahead of her time when she realized what she was doing, but super super fun and super thankful for that.
Even the last couple of years, like, like, I'll be around like Christmas time or Thanksgiving time, and I'll be talking to your mom, and I'm like, oh, like, I'm looking forward to New Year's, and she's like, I don't know if people are coming, and it's just like, it's like, don't say it. One, don't say that. Like, come on.
Yeah,
And so she's always, she's always like, kind of like, like, I don't know if people are even going to show up, or like, I don't know if we're gonna have it this year, or people got, these people are going to be out of town, and then lo and behold, it's like, nah, like, we're gonna bring people, like, we're gonna, like, I don't care if I have to go door to door salesman, I'm getting people into this place, and we're gonna party, we're gonna play some games.
definitely, definitely.
It's one of the favorite traditions. I don't see it stopping anytime soon, which I hope it doesn't, but man, just so much fun. Uh yeah, again, like I said, December 31st, chances are I'm gonna spend a good chunk of that time at your place, no matter what's going on in my life. But and kind of around that same time, something, you know, what, 7 days, 6 days before that, Christmas. Um, eh, Kind of a lame tradition that it got turned into, but for me, man, Christmas Day. But the first couple Christmas I had, it was very traditional. Like, woke up, open presents, stuff like that. But once I turned like 9 or 10, as a family, my parents, my brother and I, we would open presents, but then we'd go straight to the golf course and play golf on Christmas Day. Again, I thought it was kind of lame growing up until I realized that, oh, there's snow everywhere else in the country, and not everyone can can play golf on Christmas in nice weather. But the old course that my dad used to work at, they would completely shut down on Christmas, and it was one of those things where they were like, "Hey, like, you can open the course up, grab a few carts, and we'd have the whole golf course for ourselves." Which I didn't realize how special it was until I got older, and I was like, "Man, like, that was so cool. We could bring our dog out. Dog would run around the golf course. We'd have the whole thing to ourselves." And it's just pretty rare experience to have in general. I don't know how many people have ever had a whole golf course to themselves. That that itself isn't lame, but what it did get turned into is when I got older and I could work, the golf course that my dad worked at the time, uh, he kindly asked me one year, like, "Hey, do you mind working with me on Christmas? And we can give the rest of the people the day off." And I said yes, because to me it was just a no brainer. It was a half day work, and let other people not worry about their Christmas. And so then my Christmas turned into, for the next like 6 7 years, was, hey, I'm gonna go work with my dad at the golf course, chick a bunch of people in so that 200 people can play golf on Christmas Day with their families. And so, but man, that was such a nice thing to do. Just my dad and I kind of waking up early, you know, you get older and Christmas isn't quite the same. You don't have any younger siblings, or I didn't have any younger siblings, so we weren't kind of keeping like the Christmas spirit around. But yeah, I'd get that knock on the door like 4:30 in the morning. But Dad's like, "Hey, let's go, let's go work on Christmas," and to give his staff uh, the complete day off was it's something that like I hated waking up early, but I didn't hate kind of going to work on Christmas, even though it sounds kind of lame. But that's I think to spend that morning with my dad. It was just a half day to make that clear too. It wasn't like the entire day. But to spend that morning with my dad, shaking people's in and making other people's Christmas special was something that I will always remember. And that was something that I no longer have to do because he's at a different golf course. But that's something that I did kind of in my later years of living in Arizona.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool of you. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
What did you do at Christmas, man? Do you have any Christmas traditions?
Christmas was not too traditional. My immediate family is really the only family in Arizona. So my parents moved away from their families who resided from Indiana. So we're really kind of on an island. So it was, most people will have family come in and, they're hanging out with family all day. They're going, to their mom's family side, their dad's family side, stuff like that. I didn't really have that my only family was my great grandparents. And so we'd, wake up early in the morning every year. It was how early can we wake up and convince the parents that that's okay. 4 a.m. No, 4:30 no, 5 okay, sure. And then so the night before we'd decide that, and we'd wake up at that time. We weren't allowed to set alarms, but we'd wake up just out of excitement. And I think growing up, my family, me and my two younger siblings would sleep in the same bed. So that was kind of exciting, and we'd mess around or just talk out of excitement and stuff like that. And so we'd wake each other up at that time, and then we'd go wake our parents up, brush our teeth, and we'd go downstairs. And Santa always stocked the stocking, and that was the first thing we would open, and then go down and open the rest of our presents. And super fun. My mom did all the shopping for that. My dad was opening up the presents just like us. He didn't know what was in them. And yeah, my mom did a great job of making Christmas special. And she carried a lot of the weight of that. And very, very cool of her to just be so selfless and make all four of us feel special on Christmas. And definitely look up to her for that. And from there, we would usually have our grandparents over, our great grandparent, or vice versa. We'd go over there when we were younger. We'd go over there and have some sort of egg casserole, maybe some cinnamon rolls, and just hang out. Really, nothing too special. Just that, and then just hang out with just us. And that was really about it. It was a great time. And I wouldn't say traditional by what I've learned from living with Alyssa now and stuff. Like she has divorced parents and then grandparents from there. So just being with her a couple of years, I've been, I see my family. My great grandparents are gone now, sadly. So really just my immediate family. Spend the morning with them, tell them I love them, stuff like that, and then go try to bounce around with Alyssa's family. So to get everyone, see everyone, and make everyone happy. So it's tough to try to balance that time now, where it's like, who do I pick to spend time with, and where do we bounce around? And you're closer to some grandparents than others. And it's interesting, but it'll be fun to see where that tradition goes, and where we are and all that.
Yeah, it certainly changes over time. I didn't realize how, I don't want to say quote unquote easy it was, but like I remember people like, all the holidays are so busy. Again, my parents moved to Arizona. We were the only people in Arizona for probably the first like 17 years of my life. And my grandparents ended up getting a place down in Arizona, a couple hours away from us. But yeah, I didn't have to bounce around and and quote unquote see everyone, see each set of grandparents, and or my partner's grandparents or family of that. Like I the holidays were just so simple, and it was nice. It's still nice. It's still nice now, but it's just very different. And I can certainly see where people are like, yeah, the holidays are busy, and it's like, oh yeah, I believe it now. Um, but yeah, man, I just enjoyed kind of the simplicity of it, and I still do to this day. But man, one holiday that we kind of share together, certainly in the mornings, is Thanksgiving. I know we're kind of getting into these like holiday traditions, but um, dude, t- tell me how you view your Thanksgiving mornings.
Yeah. So to give the backstory, basically there's two holidays that we have, together, and they were planned originally, and now it's just everyone shows up with no invitation. We talked about New Year's Eve already. Even if people aren't invited to my mom's house, they're showing up. Um, there's no invitation that goes out or anything. People just know that, New Year's Eve, Grinder's house, that's where we go. Same thing for Thanksgiving. We wake up, I don't 6, 7, 5 to 7,
You
and we all head
you
down
probably
to
wake up.
Los Angeles. Oh
You
yeah,
probably wake up a lot earlier than everyone
it's
else.
always well. Tommy always beats me. Tommy's the earliest, but
Probably
um,
leaves the closest.
that's true. He hops his fence and he's there. But we all head down to the Los Andes park, and we play football for, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours in the morning. And it's developed from when we were, I think, what is it, 17 years going on now, and we're 25. So since we were 8, we've had this tradition of going down to the park and playing with our buddies, uh, and then it evolved to, we're playing, and then we have our younger siblings are playing on a different field, and then as we got older, now it's like we're all kind of back to the equal playing field. And it's just chaos. It's fun. We probably have 30 people out there at any given year, and we always take a picture, and people bring down donuts and breakfast sandwiches and orange juice and uh, you know whatever, and we just probably run out of water every year. And uh, but it's so much fun. I love it. Football is my sport, but just hanging out with all the guys I grew up with and playing them now, and as I've continued to work, not as much this year, but I've continued to work on my craft with football, and some of my friends have not. They're into their other things, and um, it's kind of funny playing, playing people who haven't been working on it, just because I don't realize how much better I've gotten. And it's great though. It's so much fun, and always try to make those competitive games, and put people in positions that they're not normally in. And some guys throw on the ball, and usually have like a sleeper of the year with someone who doesn't get guarded and somehow catches 8 touchdown passes because we play 14 games. And yeah, dude, it's a blast. What do you have to say about it? I could go on and on.
I think it's. I don't want to speak for you, but it is like it's a sight to see. It's hard to say like what my favorite holiday is or what my favorite event is, but like, dude, to see, you know, no text gets sent out, no group chat, there's no nothing. You just show up there, the same place you've been showing up since we were like 8 years old, and had football practice growing up. But to kind of crest the hill, there's been years where I've showed up. I've been one of the first ones to show up. There's been years where I'm one of the last ones to show up. But to show when you're one of the last ones to show up, you kind of crest the hill and you see just kind of a sea of people. Um, it's just awesome. It's just so energetic. It certainly gets my blood pumping. Especially being in college. Um, when I was at college, right? I just didn't see these people. I wasn't around. And to catch up with everyone, and even now, like you see people that you haven't been talking to, you haven't even talked to in a long time, or you haven't even seen in a while. Um, it's just so cool. Again, I'm not. The last time I played football was on Thanksgiving last year, and that will continue to be the same every year going forward. But um, yeah, just to see the progression of it, right? Like at one by 1 year, I grew out of my cleats that I had when I was in like 8th grade. So I played without cleats, and then the next year I'm like, all right, like I need goddamn cleats with the people I'm playing with now. And so then you go to like the play against sports and get some cleats, uh, just so you keep up with everyone. But I think in the true essence, I think the parents enjoy it just as much as the kids. Like, I enjoy, again, I always try to get my hand and throw the ball every once in a while when I'm about ready to collapse a lung. But to look over, in the middle of the game when you're having the time of your life to see, 15 to 20 parents, show up on a bike or, show up on, halfway through a run or, you know, to take time out of their busy day of Thanksgiving as it is, right? You're thinking about prepping, cooking, you got people coming over soon or whatever. To take their time out of their morning to stop by and drop off a case of water, drop off donuts, drop off, breakfast sandwiches, whatever. I mean, goddamn, Ryan Blakeman is probably the busiest guy on Thanksgiving because the dude shows up with a grill, and starts making breakfast burritos for you know 30 hungry kids that just got done playing football for the first time in the last year. And yeah, man, I just love I love who shows up. I love what it is. I love everything about um, Thanksgiving morning. I love Thanksgiving afternoon. Don't get me wrong; it's another one of my favorite holidays. But man, you just can't beat Thanksgiving morning in Arizona. And I think it's just because of the people and obviously the weather, the location, everything like that. So, all right, Ken. I think we've spoken enough about Thanksgiving, man. What other kind of traditions that you got?
Yeah, I would say another weird one, not another one, weird one, but a weird one that my mom did was uh every Thanksgiving, sorry, my mom wouldn't do it. The love bug would come and leave us like a similar to almost an Easter basket of gifts where you have kind of a assortment of randomness, but it's just something cute my mom did. She wrote like, love from the love bug, or like love you, keep doing what you're doing, or just a cute little note. And um didn't hear anyone else doing that, but I always thought it was pretty cute. And it was weird to show up to school and like, hey, did the love bug go to your house? And kids are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's the love bug, what do you mean? um but that
Was
was a
it?
cute one. My mom always did that. What's up?
You said that was for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for
Okay,
Valentine's
okay. You,
Day. And
you said Thanksgiving, but I just want to correct.
oh geez,
Um,
thank you.
no, you're good. You're good. We didn't call it the love bug, but my mom also like made kind of an assortment for me or got me a few gifts here and there. They were never like anything extravagant, but like she always did something for my brother and I for Valentine's Day, which I thought was very cute, very sweet. Like, um, I know like most people are like, dude, you got something from your mom on Valentine's Day, but like it certainly made kind of like uh, honestly, I know that some people do dread Valentine's Day in a sense, but like I always look forward to Valentine's Day. Even like this day, I think my mom got me something last year, um, for Valentine's Day. So uh, I didn't call it the love bug. I think that's sweet, but no, my mom did kind of something similar, and I always really really appreciated it. It was certainly a good boost to start the day. Whatever I was gonna do something stupid or
Yeah,
courageous
it's,
or
it's
or
very
sad,
nice.
whatever. But yeah,
No, it's very good. And then, kind of going down the year, next holiday we had, kind of a holiday, was our birthdays. We're end of March. Every year, I think, not necessarily every year, but basically from age 11 on, we would go out to what we called Kirkland. My dad's name is Kirk, and he basically ruled out in the desert. And so we'd go out in the desert, and he gave us one rule: do what makes sense. And as an 11-year-old to 18-year-old, a lot of things that might not make sense, and we figured out that they did or didn't. And um, it was fun though, just having the freedom, taking your pocket knives and sharpening the stick, or having who can build the tallest fire competition. I think we all surpassed 10 to 15 feet of flame at certain points, or making s'mores and eating way too many, or cooking up some hot dogs, or shooting your friends with a BB gun. We had a lot of fun experiences. Some of my favorites were, taking the quads out and tying up the straps to some wood and dragging them back to the fireplace. And being out in Arizona, wood's pretty scarce compared to other places you might go camping. So we'd strap it up, and sometimes the quad would be able to pull it out, sometimes the strap would snap in half, and uh just chaos, absolute chaos. And it was just, only things you can do with your dad, and just a blast. My dad gave me some freedom to do that, and all my buddies came, had the same freedom, and it was chaos. I don't know how he you know we I don't know how we didn't get hurt, and I'm sure some of us did, but we wanted the freedom, and we got it. So it was great. Do you have any any comments on that? It was kind of turned into your birthday as well, since me and you are a day apart. Usually you were out there the same weekend. So
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on my comments for maybe a later time. I think eventually we'll do a podcast on all of our adventures out there. But I think to say about the freedom thing, like the fact that no one got hurt proves that 12-year-olds should have some freedom, and that nothing went wrong. And all the worrying of they're gonna cut their finger, or like build that fire too high or whatever. Like, we handled it pretty well. So this basically kind of you know shoot it back at the parents of like, hey, everything went well. So we can handle what we can. So, but yeah, no, just so fun. Again, I was never one to celebrate a ton with my birthday. I didn't have a ton of birthday parties, but dude, camping out there with you guys, yeah, I did kind of morph into our birthday parties, which is I couldn't have asked for a better way to do that. So, but yeah, so many cool memories out there.
definitely. And it was great. Yeah, it wasn't really a birthday party. It was more just, nobody brought gifts. It was just bring a sleeping bag and maybe a tent, and you might get inside the tent, or we might sleep outside, or we'll figure it out. And super fun, and that was great. And then actually going into the next holiday, Easter, which second to Thanksgiving, is my second favorite holiday. My parents did a great job of just making that one special. Every year they would stock, I don't know, 200 eggs, and just hide them. And me and my siblings would wake up early in the morning, and kind of similar to Christmas, wake our parents up, and they'd be like, all right, let's go. And then so we'd go down, um, they had the Easter baskets out, and we'd kind of glance at them, and as we're walking downstairs, we're looking around corners for eggs, and spotting them, so that when the parents say go, we can go collect real quick. And um, I had an unfair advantage just being the oldest sibling, but the other day I just reached out to my siblings and asked, what do you think about Easter? Do you think you'll do the same thing? Like, will it be complete chaos, or will you write a name on every egg so that it's fair, or like what will you do? And my little brother was like, yeah, it'll be chaos. Like, I love the competition. My sister's like, I don't know. So I loved it. I think I would like to do it that way. And even 2 years ago, or whenever I was back in Arizona for Easter last, we did it still, and it's so much fun. I have a blast doing it, and look forward to providing my kids with that same that same opportunity. Did you do anything for Easter?
No, but I'm certainly writing down ideas.
Yeah, man.
We didn't do anything for
Highly
Easter.
recommend. Highly recommend. It was so fun. So
I
much
think
fun.
I think I think next Easter I might be sleeping over because that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it was great. And then
next, go ahead.
go ahead. Okay. So for Father's Day, our families for a few years there would rent out a cabin, and that was what did we have? 5 people, that team fleeing group would all rent out a cabin, and we'd go up north, and um, just kind of similar, a mix of going out to Kirkland and a mix of, having the moms there and having a home cooked meal and having a house to come back to. That was a special time for us. What do you have to say about that time?
Yeah, I think we did it. Like, I think probably like 5 or 6 times. Right, there was either a cabin up. I think there's 4 cabins up north, and then there was the hotel down in Casa Grande, which was crazy. Actually, I think we did that twice. But yeah, man, it was if Kirkland's at, turned up to 10. I would say the Father's Day weekend, as far as like the level of activities, was probably turned on to like a 6 or 7. Again, that's just because there's more parental supervision, and we couldn't do certain things that we did at Kirkland with the amount of eyes that were there. Not that we were doing anything bad, but um, people just didn't want to get yelled at. So, but yeah, man, just time with families, right? Like Kirkland was just kids and a dad, maybe two, but just spend time with all our families. I think all our families blend so well. Parents to parents, siblings to siblings. There always seemed to be kind of a tier system of ages that someone had someone to talk to or hang out with or whatever. But yeah, man, as I've gotten older, to feed 26 people and to plan a weekend of that is crazy to me. But gosh, our parents did that, and that's awesome. Probably gonna lean a little bit more into the moms did that, which is awesome. Kudos to them. I don't think I could do that right now. If I did, I'd be pretty stressed. But yeah, again, some great memories getting up north, getting out of the heat. Getting to wear a hoodie in Arizona is pretty rare. So, as much as we could do that, and checking out new spots. I remember every different house that we spent time at. The differences, the similarities, the things that we did. There's certainly no shortage of ideas that come to us when we're at these houses. Anything from playing disc golf or trying to have someone catch a football and a frisbee at the same time, or my dad having an RC car, riding dirt bikes, catching geckos. There's just no shortage of fun between us. Games obviously are always important. So, yeah, man, to spend Father's Day, again, there was times where I didn't even know what we were doing up there until Sunday came, and I was like, oh, hey, we all need to gather around and thank our dads. But it was just kind of another weekend to get with everyone, and again, for all the families to sacrifice their Father's Day to get all together. Pretty rare, pretty special, and yeah, so many cool memories from those houses. Uh,
Definitely.
yeah, I couldn't, I just appreciate all the coordination that my parents had for that.
Definitely. Yeah. The more we talk about it, the more it's like, wow, we're pretty spoiled, just having the ability to have our friends' parents be friends is such a luxury at age 12 when you can't really drive yourself places and just having sleepovers and random cabins and it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. Moving on to the next holiday, 4th of July. What did you have special for 4th of July? What's your tradition there?
We um every other year we go out east to my dad's side of the family. We had what was called the Elmore Olympics, man. I don't know how many families do this, but all of my dad has 2 cousins. There's kind of 3 branches of Elmores, and between grandparents, parents, and then kids and aunts and uncles, there'll probably be about 30 or 40 of us in the house or in between 2 houses. And man, we would just we'd kind of party for a weekend, and then get it kind of be almost like a family reunion. It's probably what most people would kind of call it. But then one of the days out of that weekend, um, 4th of July, we'd have these giant Olympic games amongst the family. Call it the Elmore Olympics. There's a team event. There's it's all broken out into teams. There's a team winner, but there's also an individual winner, and they get the coveted Elmore Olympic trophy, which is just a duck decoy. That's been around since I think like the late '80s. So it's been it's been going on for a while. Uh, but man, let me tell you again. I know I'm competitive with all you guys, but my family is just as competitive, and I figure myself to be a pretty decent athlete, and I think I've only won it once. So again, just really intense. But at the same time, it's not intense. It's just a family gathering. Where you haven't seen some cousins in there. Either 2 years or 1 year, or even sometimes 4 years if you miss a year. Um, but yeah, to get with them and to do something like that is so much fun. So we get patriotic. We get proud of our family. We get we start coming up with team names and team costumes, and it gets crazy. And it certainly evolved. We even did 1 year, we did houseboats. So we did like a water themed, Olympic game type stuff. So I think that's pretty unique. I think that's pretty awesome. It's something that, I've always prioritized in the schedule. It beats spending 4th of July in Arizona, that's for sure. That place is probably one of the worst states to be, with all the no burn and the heat and the lack of fireworks. So to go out east in Virginia, Pennsylvania, and hang out with the Elmores and kind of be with your kin, it's awesome. And it's second to none, really. So, what about you, man? What'd you do 4th of July?
4th of July, every year, my family, my mom was a teacher, and my dad kind of was on and off with working for his own company, and doing his own thing with rentals and stuff. So every summer we would go traveling, and so we'd drive some far place. 1 year we drove up to down over to Florida, up to Maine, and then 1 year we drove up to Vancouver, took a cruise to Alaska, and then back down. And every 4th of July, we would try to make it to Indiana. So Florida, Maine, Indiana, um, somehow Vancouver, back to Indiana. Some were more direct than others, but 4th of July, my families were from there, so get back there, hang out with the family, enjoy the cool cool-ish weather, not Arizona 4th of July weather, and see our families, and that was always a good time. We'd see the cousins and uncles, and yeah, have some chaotic fireworks, and see some family members we don't see too often. So super fun there. But yeah, just the whole summer was always fun. My parents did a great job of showing me the world. So or at least the United States, and yeah, definitely brought up in a special way. Um, but yeah, I think that pretty much sums up our traditions for this podcast. Do you have
Yeah, man.
anything else to add, Abe?
I would say, one thing that we probably didn't touch on too much was, again, I know I'm a big golfer. My dad's a golfer, but my both sides of my family are big golfers, and whenever there's at least 6 Elmores, and there's together, there's a thing called the Elmore Cup, and it's just a big 2-day, 3-day event of golf, early morning golf, where basically just trying to beat my cousins or dad or grandpa or whatever, um, at golf, and we've got a big there's a big money game. It's got a trophy. It's got what do you call it, like a trophy mantle, trophy bottom, I guess. Big glass face for the prize, and um, again, the males in my family are very competitive. They're very good at golf, and it gets pretty relentless actually on the golf course. Some harsh things are said every once in a while, but uh, I would say that's another thing that's unique to me and my family is we're big golfers, and um, the Elmore Cup can happen anytime to once or twice a year, depending on what's going on. This year is twice with a wedding. One of my cousins got married, and then this is the year it fell on the Elmore Olympics. So there was 2 Elmore Cups this year, and to do something. I've been playing in it since I was like 14, and I've got great uncles that are 80 years old. They're still playing in it. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. More of my younger cousins are getting into golf and playing in it and participating in it. So just so fun to kind of carry on that tradition within my family, that I think is pretty unique to us. And it's fun. It's a blast. Every time I play, I've won it 3 times, and it's so cool to take it from the defending champion, and bring it home on an airplane, and you got to check it to TSA, and they always stop you and be like, hey, what the heck is this thing? And it's like, It's a pretty big deal. It's called the Elmore Cup. I don't know if you know this, but and so it's a giant crystal vase that you carry around. You're so proud to have an extra carry on with you on the way back. But yeah, so that's kind of an odd one with me. But that other than that, that kind of explains all my traditions. You have any other odd traditions in your family?
Not like that. No, that's a special one. A lot of trophies going around in the Elmore household, with the vase and the duck. Um, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Thanks for listening, everyone. I thought that was a lot of fun. Abe and I are having a blast creating these, and time is flying by.